Full story. My cheating girlfriend trashed me, then tried suing for $50K in emotional labor. I slid the last framed picture off my desk and into a box. It showed Leah and me at her sister's wedding, grinning across a table strung with lights. I used to picture our own wedding photos joining it one day. Amazing how certain you can feel until life corrects you. Leah and I dated for 2 years after matching on a phone app. We clicked at once. She had every credential I once placed on a pedestal: college degree, close-knit family, steady public relations job, and an apartment whose fridge was never empty. She had never eaten cereal 3 nights running because bus fare mattered more than groceries. On our 3rd date, I laid out my history. My mother wrestled with addiction, and my father vanished before I knew him. From 8 to 18, I moved through relatives and foster homes, quitting high school at 16 to pour concrete and stack boxes. I earned a GED at 19, entered community college. At 22, transferred to State University and graduated in social work. Now I counsel teenagers at a neighborhood youth center. The work is not glamorous, but it matters to me. Leah called my journey inspiring and said my background shaped a man she admired. That acclaim evaporated last week at her firm's rooftop mixer. Her boss asked where I studied. I answered honestly. He joked about my scenic route through education. I laughed it off. Leah stayed stone-faced. In the rideshare home, she folded her arms and asked why I kept name-dropping community college when everyone present had gone to Cornell or Duke. She said State University barely counted. While the sting was fresh, she jumped to our future. What would we tell our children about my family, my mother's addiction? The foster placements, I answered, that we would tell them people endure hard things and still build good lives. She shook her head. Your past is too messy, Noah. You are damaged goods. I cannot build a future on a cracked foundation. I let the sentence hang. Maybe so, I said at last. If that is what you believe, nothing I say will change it. She wanted me to fight to prove I could become more than my history. I reminded her that I do that every day. She brushed aside my work at the youth center as a tiny job helping kids doomed to repeat their parents' mistakes. That was the moment I knew we were finished. I moved out the next morning. She texted that leaving was childish and begged me to return so we could talk like adults. I stayed silent. The kids at the center needed me. Leah wasted no time framing the story. Mutual friends heard that I refused to grow and chose work over love. She portrayed herself as the patient partner, urging bigger goals while I clung to the past. Her friend Sophia called to ask why I was so sensitive about career advice. I told her to ask Leah about the party and the phrase damaged goods. Word spread. Some friends echoed Leah, insisting I should chase higher pay. Others were appalled. The gossip never touched what mattered. For 3 years, I had been building a mentorship project, pairing adults who had aged out of foster care with teens still inside it. At first, we met on weekends. Then came a small grant internships through local businesses and a scholarship fund. 1 week after the breakup, my phone rang. A major foundation wanted an offering $2.8 million over 5 years. They loved that the program was peer-led by people who had lived it. I sat in my parked car and cried, not for Leah, but for every teenager who would now hear you are not broken from someone who truly understood. I did not post a thing online. I simply went back to work. Of course, Leah found out. Her first late-night text read, "I saw the grant news. Congratulations." I ignored it. The next day, she wrote that she had misjudged my work and we should talk. I stayed silent. She appeared at the youth center and had to be escorted out when she tried to follow me into a session. Then I received a LinkedIn request. Her profile now claimed passion for youth development and foster care advocacy. The foundation hosted a gala to announce the grants, and I had to speak. I wore the only suit I own. Leah attended with a new boyfriend named Marcus, a hedge fund trader polished by an elite university. Before the speeches, she cornered me to apologize and offered her marketing skills. I told her we were fine. Marcus drifted over, called our nonprofit a cute project, and I excused myself to take the stage. My speech focused on young people labeled broken and the power of being seen for potential instead of past. The room rose in applause. Leah wiped tears. Marcus checked his watch. That brings the story to 1 month after the gala. The next chapter begins with what happened when the program truly took off. 6 months after the gala, the program took off like dry timber meeting a match. Local newspapers ran features, then regional TV stations. A shoe company sponsored our new computer lab. 3 corporations pledged internship spots, and we opened branches in 2 neighboring cities. I was working 80-hour weeks and sleeping on office couches, but every time a teenager held up an acceptance letter, the fatigue melted. Leah watched from the sidelines and chose Scorched Earth. She launched a blog titled Dating Down My Journey with a Damaged Partner. Each weekly post dissected the trials of loving someone with trauma. She changed names, but anyone close to us could identify every detail. According to her, I preferred misery over achievement and used my history as an excuse to stagnate. The comment section did not applaud. Readers pointed out that branding a partner damaged is not help. It is emotional abuse. Leah answered criticism with longer essays about psychological theories she barely understood. When the blog lost traction, she pivoted to a podcast called The Savior Complex, warning listeners about partners who refuse to be fixed. Episodes averaged maybe 50 downloads, half recorded, only so people could ridicule them later. Then Forbes published its annual 30 Under 30 list of social entrepreneurs. The magazine profiled our program's peer-led design, the scholarship fund, and our 89% rate of placing participants in college or skilled trades. My photo stood beside those statistics. Leah's online presence imploded. She filmed a tearful video claiming she had acted as my unofficial advisor, shaping the project from the start, and that I iced her out because I could not handle a strong woman. Someone posted screenshots of her old texts calling foster kids lost causes. Within hours, the video, the blog, and all podcast episodes vanished, but the internet forgets nothing. I thought the saga was over until a courier delivered court papers to my desk. Leah was suing me for $50,000, claiming compensation for emotional labor and strategic guidance she had provided during our relationship. Her evidence consisted of messages where she urged me to abandon social work for a higher-paying field. My attorney chuckled and prepared a short response. During discovery, we produced her full message history, including every reference to damaged goods and hopeless children. The judge dismissed her suit in minutes and ordered Leah to cover my legal fees. Outside the courthouse, she broke down. She said she had loved me and only wanted better for me. I answered that she wanted better than me, not better for me. She insisted I had changed under the weight of money and recognition. I told her I remained the same foster kid with a messy past, still working with teenagers others called broken, and that the only difference was the value she now attached to that work. She confessed Marcus had left because she could not stop talking about me. I wished her well and walked away. Today, the program operates in 12 locations across 3 states and has served more than 400 young people. Last week, Terrell, one of our earliest mentees, phoned to announce his graduation from pre-med. He asked to volunteer. "You saved my life," he said. I told him he was never broken. He only needed someone who recognized his worth. My girlfriend now is a fellow counselor named Sarah. She grew up in a quiet suburb, attended a private college, and keeps snacks in her office for kids who forget breakfast. When I told her about foster care, she simply said, "That must have been hard." If you ever want to talk, I'm here. No judgment, no attempts to renovate my history, just respect. People still call the past messy. I call it a credential that lets me meet a teenager's haunted stare and say, "I have stood where you are standing, and look where we can go." The dents in the armor are where the light enters. For kids like Terrell, that light is sometimes all they need. Thank you for listening to today's stories. If you enjoyed listening, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Also, leave a comment below to share your thoughts on what happened. Take care.